April 13th, 2021, South Africa. That morning, customers of the country's most popular crypto platform, Africrypt, received a shocking message. The company claimed it had been hacked. The message came from Africrypt's founders, two brothers, Ameer and Raees Cajee. At that time, investors' funds, exactly 69,000 Bitcoin, worth around $4 billion back then, had vanished. But one detail stood out. The message warned, do not go to the police or lawyers. It may slow down the recovery process. Customers were terrified. Some grew suspicious. What they didn't know was that the two brothers who sent the message had already fled the country. These two young entrepreneurs pulled off one of the biggest scams in crypto history, and with billions in their pockets, they disappeared without a trace. The year was 2019 in South Africa. Two brothers in their early 20s, Ameer and Raees Cajee, believed they had found the path to quick wealth. They launched a platform called Africrypt. They claimed it used artificial intelligence to trade Bitcoin. For them, this was a revolutionary idea, and their promise sounded unbelievable: 10% profit per day. That meant an investor's money could almost double in just 1 month. At that time, cryptocurrency was turning into a huge craze in South Africa. Everyone wanted to be part of this new revolution, and Africrypt rose right on top of that wave. The platform quickly caught attention. Famous singers, football players, actresses, even members of the ruling party ANC were buying crypto through it. On social media, Africrypt was being promoted as the greatest investment opportunity of the decade. Many saw it as the future of finance on the continent. In no time, Ameer and Raees became South Africa's new financial stars. Their lives were full of luxury. Flashy villas, a fleet of luxury cars, private parties, glamorous events. Newspapers called them the young leaders of Africa's financial market. But behind all that glitter lay a much darker truth. In reality, Africrypt wasn't doing any trading at all. The investors' money went straight into crypto wallets controlled by the Cajee brothers. No artificial intelligence, no trading strategies, nothing. The payments to early investors were only made with money coming in from new investors. So Africrypt wasn't a revolutionary platform. It was just a classic Ponzi scheme. But the brothers were skilled at keeping the illusion alive. Through aggressive marketing campaigns, they kept attracting new investors and selling them dreams. They even promised to build Africa's first crypto bank. And later, they announced their own cryptocurrency called Africoin, claiming it would surpass Bitcoin and Ethereum. But there was a big problem. If too many investors tried to withdraw their money at the same time, the system would collapse instantly. The Cajee brothers knew this, so behind the scenes, they began preparing for a grand escape. The grand escape plan was simple and cold-blooded. First, they quietly moved most of the assets into wallets they controlled, small transfers, one by one, so no one would notice. Next, they prepared to disappear. Passports, flights, bank contacts, everything set to move to a safe, out-of-the-way country. But disappearing alone wasn't enough. They needed a story. Simply shutting the platform would only raise questions. Investors would demand their money. Authorities would open investigations. So they chose the cleanest way to avoid responsibility: stage a hacker attack. All that was left was to wait for the right moment. April 2021. Africrypt users logged into their accounts like every day. But that morning something was wrong. Transactions were freezing. Withdrawals were failing. At first, people thought, maybe it's a small system bug. But minute by minute, it became clear this was not a simple error. Hours later, the company sent an official message. It said, "Our company suffered a major hacker attack. All funds are gone. An investigation is ongoing. If you go to the police or lawyers, it may make recovery harder." Instead of calming people, the message made them panic. Users called customer support. The phones were dead. The website was down. And the office everyone expected was not a high-tech hub. It was just an ordinary house. No servers, no real team, no sign of a serious tech company. Then crypto experts started checking the blockchain. They found something important. Weeks before the hack announcement, large sums had quietly left Africrypt's main wallets. At first, the transfers were small, but over days they grew larger and larger. Where did the money go? Not straight to big, trackable exchanges. That would have been easy to follow. Instead, the funds went through mixers, services that split money into thousands of tiny pieces and send them to many different accounts. That makes tracing almost impossible. After mixing, the funds were turned into stablecoins. And finally, some moved into privacy coins like Monero, which are very hard to trace. The plan was clear. By the time Africrypt announced the hack, most of the money was already in places beyond reach. From outside, it looked like a chaotic hacker attack. Inside, it was a careful, weeks-long escape operation. Investors rushed to the police, but when the case file opened, a shocking detail appeared. According to official records, the Cajee brothers had never left South Africa. No passport stamps, no tickets, no trace of travel. This meant only one thing: their escape had been planned months in advance. Investigators also discovered that, before the so-called hack, employees' access to the system had been shut down one by one. In the final days, only the two brothers had full control of the platform. Soon after, investors brought in lawyers and filed lawsuits. Even Interpol joined the hunt, but the brothers had vanished into thin air. Then, new information surfaced. Before the escape, they had purchased citizenship in Vanuatu, a small island nation that doesn't extradite and offers visa-free travel to over 130 countries. Rumors spread. Some said the brothers were living in luxury in Dubai, others claimed they were hiding in Tanzania or even in the UK with fake identities. None of it was ever proven. In 2023, a suspicious crypto wallet was discovered inside a Swiss bank vault. It could have held billions, but without the private key, no one could access it. To this day, no one knows if it belonged to the Cajees. By 2024, the case hit a dead end. South Africa's financial regulator, FSCA, announced that Africrypt had never even been a licensed company, which meant no one could ever be charged. The Cajee brothers are still missing. The fate of 69,000 Bitcoin remains unknown. This story doesn't end here, it simply stops halfway. So the question remains, will the Cajee brothers ever be caught? Or will 69,000 Bitcoin forever remain one of the biggest unsolved heists in crypto history?